I've always been about military ever since I was a kid. So it's always been a big dream of mine. And plus it made my parents very, very proud of me wanting to join the military.
My dad was in the Navy. I kind of grew up thinking that's all I want to do.
When I was medically discharged, I had 2 weeks to get my affairs in order. And then 1 minute I was in Northern Ireland, next minute I was back at home. It did affect me quite badly because I couldn't find any employment. It was scary being on Civilian Street because you didn't know what was coming next, if you know what I mean. It wasn't a nice place to be. When you come out, how did you find civilian life?
I hated it, but I found that when I left, that camaraderie, that group of the people that I felt were my family behind, I felt like I'd deserted them.
Yeah.
And I'd moved into an alien world where I didn't really fit in. I chose alcohol because it made me feel better. And so my drinking got really out of hand. And so I got arrested, having been somebody that, served in the forces, served in the police, and I was now sat in a cell. And being in a cell terrified me.
Yeah. Same as yourself. I was drinking a lot, and it got to a point where I was having dreams. I'd rung 111 and explained what was going on, and they asked me to go down and see the mental health unit.
Yeah.
The doctor asked me what were the dreams about. I was having dreams of burning down the doctor's surgery and silly things like that. And I thought I was being honest and telling her my darkest fears and whatnot. And she called the police, and the police came out and arrested me. When I was in the cell, one of the officers, this is the second time I got arrested for telling doctors what I was thinking. Still to this day, I don't understand how it happened. He must have seen something in me. He says, "Were you armed forces by any chance?" And he handed me a number and says, "When you speak to your solicitor, ask him to ring this number." And it was up and over, and that's how I got put in contact with John after that night. And that's when the police started taking me seriously. But as I say, within 3 hours of making the phone call, John had already turned up at the police station and was waiting at the front counter for me.
I think the thing for me is that I've never felt judged by Nova or Julie at Nova. I've never felt judged for what's happened. And because of that, I think that makes it easier for me to be honest.
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd end up being arrested. I never thought that I'd end up in the criminal justice system. I always thought life was going to be okay. I think Nova was life-saving. It was life-saving because somebody listened to me. There are lots of people like you and I that end up in the system that, yes, all right, we might have done things to end up in the system, but to have somebody to help, I don't know where I'd have been without that help, to be honest.
To have them on side, to have them back in your corner and to fight with you made life a lot easier. And I don't think, without Nova existing, I think, I would have still been in that dark place. It's not a sign of weakness asking for help. If anything, you're doing yourself a better. It's to have people have your back and to tell the justice system that you do have a military background. There is someone that can help. You don't need to do it on your own.
If there was greater understanding and people didn't judge, and they perhaps listened, perhaps realised that people have got a story to tell, and that story might be quite horrific in some ways, I think a lot of people wouldn't end up perhaps in the justice system like they do. I mean, just having the opportunity to sit here and talk to you, it for me is brilliant, because it makes me realise that I'm not mad. I'm just one of a number of people that perhaps has these thoughts, has this situation, and that, I mean, just talking to you has helped no end. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, no,